All right, back in action. Woohoo! All right, so Sarah's with me today, as I'm sure you read from the title card above us. This is a pre-screen video, which ordinarily means unless we really fucking hate it, we don't usually go spoilers. We're gonna do half spoilers, because I didn't completely hate this fucking movie, but...
Same here. I think we're on the same page with this one.
We're pretty much on the same page. Just general thoughts right now. I consider myself a Brad Bird fan. I liked, The Iron Giant was a great movie, The Incredibles, Mission Impossible 4, all those great movies. He is yet to make, I would say, a really bad movie. And I wouldn't even say, this one's meh. This is the weakest of the ones I've seen him do so far.
Agreed.
They're terrible, but...
No,
it's got the issues.
In parts, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying on the way over here, at its core, it's a kid's film, so it's harmless. It has a blatant message, which we'll get into a very blatant message.
Yeah, no subtle whatsoever message. No. And it is so shoving this down your throat. I mean, at least his other movies were subtle. The Incredibles is more subtle than this.
Extremely.
I mean, even then, the moral Incredibles, when you really look at it, is not necessarily all that subtle either. But when you really look at it, but it's done better.
Yes.
It doesn't shove it down your throat. That's kind of the big problem with this movie is so preachy. It is so preachy, and it's a message I can get behind.
Me too.
But it's so fucking preachy. Yeah. Okay, let's start right off the bat. I mean, I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but not really, in the fact that basically the moral of the story is, hey man, be positive. Shit could be worse.
That and take care of your planet.
Take care of the world. We are the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is...
take care of your environment, and your environment will take care of you. And neglect it, and everything will go to squat.
Yeah, I mean, that message is there. I mean, it's slightly more subtle because they didn't overtly say it. The one they overtly say is, never give up hope. Stay positive. Believe you can do it. Don't give up. You can make a drinking game when they say some variation of this phrasing, and it's all told through this annoying fucking main character. Casey, who was like, hey, what's a great... I'm willing to bet this was Disney's idea more than Brad Bird's idea. I know Brad Bird has a tendency to use kids in his movies. Okay, in one movie, and I think about it. I mean, kids were in The Incredibles, but they weren't the focus. The focus was on the adults.
Yes.
But, I will give Brad Bird, absolutely, he has a great sense of style.
Absolutely, yes.
The designs
I'll
and the
grant you.
visuals and the camera work and the cinematography are all fucking gorgeous.
They are, yes. It is a fun and eye-catching film. I'll give it that. I
mean, even if it's mostly CGI, the designs to it are so fun to look at.
Yes.
And Brad, one thing I want to do positive before I tear this movie apart, as I usually do with the show, is the fact that he has this great nostalgic, futuristic design to it.
It does.
The future isn't modern day sci-fi future. This is the future as foretold by the 1970s future.
Or 19...
Was it
65, 64?
Something like that. Either way, 60s, 70s style future.
Yes.
And so everything's designed and styled in that way, and it's fantastic to look at. I can't think of a sci-fi movie in recent memory that's done that kind of style. And Brad Bird is the exact kind of director who can pull that off. And the mix between practical effects and practical sets mixed in with CGI works very, very well. They work mostly seamlessly.
Mostly.
I mean, there's a couple points. Well, I mean, when you look at it, it's CGI. It's more just okay, is it still pretty to look at? Yes, it is. So I'm willing to overlook that part.
Yeah.
And really, I look at this movie and I feel like this had some producer input.
More than likely.
Because I feel like, I could be wrong on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Brad Bird originally wanted to make this movie about George Clooney's character.
Yes, that I would agree with.
Because when he finally comes into play, and by the way, the movie starts off with him and ends with him, more or less.
Yes.
Casey honestly becomes a side character towards the end of the movie. But his performance is great.
It is, and he actually...
I mean, it's fucking George Clooney.
He actually had chemistry with the robot.
A little girl robot, no less.
Yes.
Which is kind of creepy when you take down and think about it. But I tried not to think about it because, like...
Same here.
I mean, granted, the little girl actress are pretty good, too. So I'll give her, like... The performances are good.
They are.
It's just the writing is very, very flawed. And like I said, very, very preachy. And then, you go get it, man. You'll be positive. And I am all for that. I am a cynical asshole, but I am a anti-cynical asshole at the same time. I don't know how that works. But...
Yes, you're always advising folks to stay positive.
There's a limit to that. It's like, stay positive because things can and often do get better. But also maintain a level of being realistic. Mm-hmm. So it's like, level your expectations, but keep hoping for more. That's a good thing to do. And that is how we make good change in the world. And that's, like, the one thing I'm not pissed off at the previous movie is that if it's telling kids to have that kind of mindset, I'm okay with that.
Yes, this is targeted more towards children than any other demographic, so...
I mean, so was Iron Giant, though. And
props to knowing its audience.
Yeah, but so was, like, Iron Giant and The Incredibles were aimed towards kids, too. So those are both great movies for kids and adults.
Agreed.
So the fact that Brad Bird is directing this movie, and it doesn't quite live up to those standards, is disappointing. Although I did catch a Mr. Incredible Easter egg they threw in there. Although, by the way, if, God forbid, you missed it, they showed it again right on the camera. Like, see, there's a Mr. Incredible doll. Did you see it?
Yes.
That's the problem. Like, in a lot of other Brad movies, there's a great level of subtlety to it. Like, even like an Iron Giant, like, again, the whole thing was don't judge AI, you know, they could be human too kind of thing. There's a lot of that in this movie too. Mm-hmm. But there was just a lot of subtlety in the performances and the way it was written and the way it was staged.
It's still one of Vin Diesel's best performances.
Yeah. How bad is it when Vin Diesel's best parts are when he's voicing characters that don't talk much?
It seems to be his niche.
Right. I mean, the last one everyone loved him in was when he said 3 words the entire movie.
Yes.
But it's like I said, he has a great sense of style, and I love his sense of style, and I love his earlier work. This is disappointing. I was genuinely disappointed.
I didn't go into it exactly knowing what to
neither did I.
expect, and I'll be honest, for the first, 15, 20 minutes or so, I had trouble staying awake.
I'll say this much about it, it gets better.
It does, yes.
Like, that's kind of what I had to say. I was thinking the same thing, like, okay, this character is a stuck-up, pretentious know-it-all. She is bugging the shit out of me. Why the hell should I care what happens to her? Although, I like that the little tiny Asian kid from Looper is getting more work, because he plays her little brother.
He was Asian?
Yeah.
Wow. I
think so. Unless I'm, like, accidentally racist again, because that's happened before.
Maybe I'm completely colorblind. I couldn't tell a different ethnicity at all.
I just know, like, he was in Looper and he was fucking terrifying. And he was, like, 3 at the time. The kid's a really good actor. Good to see he's getting work.
Nice.
I have that point there. But the whole thing is... Okay, I don't want to get too much into spoilers yet. And even then, I'm going to keep it limited, because there's only, like, 1 or 2 big things I want to rant about. Mostly one thing. First off, spoiler alert, House is a dick.
That was Hugh Laurie?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad he's getting work again.
I know, right? And he's doing his actual British accent. I like that too.
Yes.
But, okay, now I've talked about... Okay, I'm just going to get into it. We're going to take a commercial break. So I'm going to give it 5 seconds. Turn back now if you don't want spoiled. All right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let me talk about the ending of this movie and why it... Oh, I have problems with this. Okay. Maybe it's just because I have more faith in humanity than... Ironically enough, for a movie that's claiming to be promote positive thinking, it's surprisingly cynical in the way it displays it.
Extremely.
I thought it was kind of... I thought it was an irony it was not aware of.
Yes.
So what happens is, at the end of the movie, it turns out all this is happening. She finds the pin, she sees the ideal version of Tomorrowland, tracks down George Clooney, which, by the way, if a little girl can do it, why can't these robot things that are hunting them But I digress.
Well, they did find him.
But yeah, after they followed the little girl, just a fucking Google search and found it in 5 minutes. But I digress. Well, I take it back. No. She got the Terminator little girl to take him to. Okay, never mind. That's unfair.
Yes.
That's an unfair criticism. I'll take that one back. I will say this. I did love the robot people.
I did too.
Like, they were my favorite characters.
The robot...
They're like these robot
villains,
minions. Yeah.
The robot minions were so smiley happy as they did these horrifically destructive things. The dichotomy of that was hilarious.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was just the fact that I don't know what they did in like makeup or practical effects or what, but they made them look rubbery.
They did.
And robotic while still being very human. So I don't know if that was like the makeup they did or the performances or what, but they did a really convincing job of that.
Agreed.
And
I think it may have been a combination.
Like, I was joking with you because I leaned over when the first robot comes in. He's dressed up like Mr. Smith.
Yes.
And he has a big smile. And I was thinking of Die Hard 3. I was half expecting like Jeremy Irons' voice to pop up and going, "Holy Toledo! Somebody had fun." Yeah.
How colorful.
How colorful, yeah. I should have had that like on record when the magic, the awe scenes were happening, all the CGI and all. It was like, how colorful. It actually was a very colorful movie, I'll give it that.
It was, yes. Very vibrant.
But after all that, they tracked down George Clooney, who was a boy genius who went down there and he invented the jetpack and all these cool things while he was there. But then he got exiled because he invented the machine from Paycheck. Do you remember that movie? It was a Ben Affleck movie. It was a thriller.
No.
It's an old movie. It's way back when I was a kid.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is, it uses tachyons, which I just and the color blue. I just think of Watchmen.
And when I hear tachyons, I think Star Trek time travel.
Basically, same concept.
Yeah.
But they can use it to see backwards and forwards in the future, and they tell that 58 days from now, the entire world is going to be blown up to bits. And here's my problem. Okay. So, in the modern day Tomorrowland, which is just an odd sentence to say.
Yes.
By the way, the names of this movie are not so very subtle either. The main character's name is Casey Newton.
Isaac Newton?
Yeah, not subtle.
No.
You get it? She's smart. Although I don't know why I'm supposed to think that, because she doesn't really do much being smart in this movie. Except the occasional, oh look, I know how to work a drone. And discharge a couple tractors. Ooh.
So she's a mechanic.
Yeah, big fucking whoop.
I mean, it makes sense. Her dad is an engineer.
Meanwhile, George Clooney's over here, and he has super-powered fire extinguishers and magical teleporter thing, like portal doors.
And a hologram dog.
A hologram dog and like a hologram slingshot film projector thingy. And all these cool little doodads and like the most sci-fi version of Home Alone.
Yes. Very much so.
Oh, and let's not forget the escape pod tub.
Yes.
Which is great. I know I'm like getting angrier because I'm building up to the part that pissed me off the most, and quite honestly kind of killed the movie for me. Because I was like, okay, it's preachy, but I can still go along with it. The visuals are nice. Okay, like it's fun to look at, and the action sequences are good. It's shot very well. It's made very well.
The action is good. I mentioned earlier about how for the first 20 minutes or so, I was lolling off. Once the action got going, I woke up.
Once George Clooney got in there, it got a lot better.
Agreed.
So again, like it gets better, but then it stops here. So what happens is they go to the future, and oh god damn it!
That's not me.
That's me. Okay, I can deal with that in a second. I might take a commercial break for that, but anyway, I want to get to this point. So what happens is it turns out that I'm just gonna call him House. He was called General Nix. You know, get it? General Nixon?
Yeah.
General Nix.
Or nix this plan.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Well, we've already said that this movie is anything but subtle.
Point. So General Nix saw this was gonna happen and decided he wasn't gonna do anything about it. Even though I was sitting there like, Why don't you fucking do something about it? You have the technology. You can figure out what exactly went wrong. It makes it clear you can go at any point in time before this little staticky thing happens and before you find out what blew up the world. You can figure this shit out.
And that's basically what Casey tells him.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, okay, why wouldn't you do that? And they give a reason why, and it's so fucking stupid.
It didn't even sound like a logical reason. It sounded like a huge denial, not my problem speech.
This is like what a hipster liberal douchebag rants about on Facebook. They're like, I'm hip, man. I know everything. I know how the world works. Blah, blah. Because it's, you know what really makes me mad? Because I think it's like the lowest form of base knowledge is it's cynicism confused with wisdom. Is the basis for a lot of the monologues and the moral and all that stuff. Is it prevents the extreme side of cynicism, so the point of optimism sinks deeper in. It is a shameless manipulation tactic.
Oh yes, this script very much does play on the manipulation of your emotions.
So House starts going on this long rant about how years ago, through Disneyland apparently, because apparently the secret door teleporter to get to Tomorrowland is located in It's a Small World after all. And they never say it's in Disneyland, but it's Disneyland.
And they...
Or Disney World.
In the Small World after all ride, they didn't even sing all the words. They switched over to la 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 la.
Well, because no one can sing that song for longer than 5 seconds.
It's a world of laughter or a world of fears.
No.
It's a world of hopes and a world of tears.
Oh, please, anything but that.
There's so much that we share that it's time to beware. It's a small world.
I will throw this little cardboard thing at you.
I'm done.
Okay. By the way, we got this shit went in there. I don't know what the fuck it does. Like for something called Stitchers.
And it requires your cell phone and you download an app, and because it's a pre-screening, they took all of our phones.
Yeah, so it kind of defeats the purpose. But
yeah.
Anywho, and then he goes on this big long rant about how he tried to show everyone the destruction of the world, but they didn't care. They rushed towards it and threw the apocalypse and everything. And they said, basically they're saying they saw this and chose their own destruction, and I'm... What? I
mean, he does point out that the apocalypse has become popular through all media.
That still doesn't make any fucking sense.
I agree. It's stupid.
Like this is like the dumbest, most nonsensical thing that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. I mean,
I agree. I'm just too tired to get as angry as
I know. I guess I'm just angrier because I was slowly starting to get back on board, and then this happened. I'm just...
It's basic...
No, it's like...
It's a stupid speech. It's a weak argument.
It makes no fucking sense.
Agreed.
It makes no fucking sense. Okay. Let's say we know the world is gonna end. We know when it's going to happen. Are you seriously going to tell me no one would do anything? I haven't gotten this angry in a while.
Yeah.
Not even...
And you were really excited about this movie.
I know. I think that might be why I'm so angry about it. I'm not even angry at the whole movie. I'm just angry at this one part.
It was a stupid part.
It's infuriating because it just makes zero sense. It's like, it is so... It's just needlessly cynical for a movie that's supposed to be promoting optimism. Mm-hmm. This made no sense to me. It baffled me. Like, really? This is the direction you're going with this? This is your logical step forward? You expect me to believe that no one would ever try to do anything? I mean, let's say you couldn't do anything. Let's say the politicians wouldn't go for it. Let's say the business owners wouldn't go for it. Let's say like the oil tycoons or all these people wouldn't go for it. You're willing to tell me you can't send someone to the past, get them into government to change shit. In fact, you know what's going to happen. You can manipulate the polls. You can do all this crazy shit with knowing what the future is. You can change everything. Get your people into government. Get the right measures in place so the end of the world doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I just made that shit up in a 5-second span. And it's already better than anything they presented so far.
And Hugh Laurie is a great charismatic actor. I loved him on House. And he is doing his best with this speech, but the speech in and of itself is just so freaking stupid.
I'll give him credit. He does the best with what he's got, but what he's got is so mind-bogglingly stupid.
Yes.
And I sat through Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, and I think this is dumber than that.
Wow.
Because at least none of Paul Blart made sense. So it was okay. By that standard. This is a movie that's trying to tell you this is how the world works. This is how we can change it. This is what we can do about it. And it's telling you that it's because we're all such cynical bastards that no one's willing to do anything.
It's basically giving a middle finger to the audience, saying, fuck you, because you're fucking yourselves over. No,
it's just
go away and die.
It's insulting to
Extremely.
think that no one would do anything about this, that we wouldn't care enough because it's popular. That doesn't make any sense.
It's telling them because you're obsessed with this subject matter, you're making it happen, and you're all hopeless. It's ridiculous.
That's a hippie douchebag rant.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry for hurting your ears, because I know sometimes I get really high-pitched.
Yes,
and I know
you're getting very high-pitched. Yeah.
I know, it's been a long time.
I know.
Even when I was, granted I was exhausted when I saw Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, so that did not help things. But this is one, it's more infuriating. I mean, this movie's not going to make my top 10 of worst of the year or anything like that, because overall it's still okay. There's a lot of parts that I liked.
Yeah, but it's not a bad movie. It's an okay, maybe closer on the side of could have been good movie.
Yeah, this part just infuriated me because I don't know. This is the part where one of the few moments where I felt personally insulted, where I was just like, "Fuck you, fuck you," and fuck your underrated. I guess I just have more faith in human species than this movie does. Ironically.
Yeah.
Because no.
For a movie called Tomorrowland.
No, we make a big fucking fuss when Scarlet Witch isn't made a strong enough character or stupid shit like that. You really think we would not make a big deal out of the goddamn apocalypse? Fuck no. Yeah, we would.
Yeah. We
would make a huge fucking deal out of that. We lost our shit when the CIA surveillance shit was revealed.
Oh, the Patriot Act?
Not the Patriot Act, the whistleblower guy.
Oh, Snowden?
Yeah, Snowden. When all that stuff came up, granted no one gives a shit about it now, but back then, people freaked out, and they just recently passed a law in Congress about, to prevent that kind of shit from happening again. So, we care about this shit. Do not insult my intelligence by telling me we don't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that whole speech was pretty much a bunch of judgmental assumptions about humanity, coming from somebody who does not participate in humanity.
I know he's the villain. I know we're supposed to prove him wrong, but at the same time, this is the theme that goes on through the entire movie. And there's some truth to it. We do, especially in the media, we have a cynical mindset, but I refuse to believe that's the mainstream.
What I personally think makes humanity hopeful and successful is the diversity of viewpoints and the ability to openly discuss and learn from each other.
Well, I mean, look through human history and the fact that this is going to be very unexpectedly philosophical rant. Look throughout human history we have continuously fought our asses off to right the wrongs that are in this country alone, let alone the rest of the world.
Yes.
Meanwhile, this movie insult my intelligence by saying, we have a crisis of obesity and starvation at the same time. Can you explain that? And I'm like, But,
Allocation of resources.
oh, yeah, okay, fair. Although there is a place, even then, there is a place in Japan that has built a indoor agricultural marvel that has produced enough fruit and vegetables in a single year to feed a small country.
Yay!
You see pictures of this. It is a miraculous piece of machinery. And that was after the tsunami and all that shit wiped out a good part of Japan. Some guy looked at that and said, I can make something good out of that. That is what humanity does.
Yes.
And that is what we can do. That's what we still do. Do not give me the cynical crap. I mean, the civil rights movement, equal right movement, like, even now, granted, the world changes, kicking and screaming.
Those movements are still going on.
They are still going on, but we keep fighting, and it's getting better because we are fighting them. Crime is at an all-time low. Poverty is at an all-time low.
The
hole in the goddamn ozone is closing.
Nice.
Very, very slowly, but it's closing. Shit, I can't stand this mindset. It drives me crazy.
Clearly.
I know. But it's like, there is good things in this world, and they're getting better, and it's just not reported. That's the problem.
Yes, I remember years ago, I saw this thing on TV, and it was talking about how violence is portrayed in the media. Mm-hmm. And an example that it gave was that even though violent crime had gone down, media coverage of violent crime had doubled.
Mm-hmm. Because it's more interesting news, or at least they perceive it as more interesting news. But they want positive news, probably put a picture of a cat or something on there. But
YouTube videos.
Yeah, ooh, okay. Yeah, watch our YouTube videos. Stay with the cat videos and protest of mindless media. Go watch our videos instead. All 300 of them. Watch them in a sequence. You'll get through it in a week. Anywho. But, oh god, okay. I think I got it out of my system. But I once did a job in Stockton, which, does not have a most stellar reputation for being a good community town.
Okay.
Do you know the reputation Stockton has?
No,
It's basically up there with Oakland.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I went there for a benefit because this entire small community came out to support I think 5 to 7 year old who had brain cancer. They raised well over, I think it was $7,500 while they were there. You look at shit like that, and you look at the people that came out, and you talk to some of them, and you tell me there is not good people in this world, not good people willing to do things to make a difference. Fuck you.
Yes.
I guess that's kind of an example right there. That's why it bothers me so much. So. Oh, not the movie's okay.
Yeah, and I did have. Granted, I recognize and admit that the female robot character and George Clooney's character have good chemistry. I grant them that. I will admit though, something that happens towards the end of the last act.
Kind of creepy.
I could feel my emotions being blatantly manipulated. Mm-hmm. It was the suspension of disbelief did not maintain for me because I could see right through the screenplay at certain points, like that one in particular. Mm-hmm. So I had slight issue with that. I mean, you don't want your audience to be so aware of the tricks that you're pulling on them in your film as you are pulling them. Granted, I was a radio, television, film major, so I'm a little bit more tuned into some of these elements. But that kind of took me out of enjoying the story. Was the transparency of the emotional manipulation.
That's fair. I mean, you're right on the ball on that one. I mean, especially from Brad Bird, who's known for good family films. Mission Impossible 4 aside. I guess from certain context you consider that a good family film. But, so, like, this is definitely the worst Brad Bird movie I've seen. Even then, it's still not, I wouldn't still want to call it bad. My gigantic angry rant aside, it's not a bad movie.
No, and
it's just disappointing.
I'm
not mad, I'm disappointed.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6.5, maybe 7.
I'd probably give it more of a 6. But, so, I think I've kind of spilled my load there. You got anything else?
No, I agree with the issues you ranted extensively about, and I voiced my issue, which you did not touch on. So between the two of us, that's the majority.
Yeah, tag team. Anyway. Yeah, so I think it's all we got for this one. So I'll be back tomorrow with Mad Max, which, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, at least
part of that one.
At least you didn't have to pay for this one.
That's true. All right. So if you were hoping to see the movie before you saw this video, interpret that any way you want, I guess.
Yeah.
If it doesn't bother you, then you probably like it fine.
It's a decent family film. It's perfectly harmless if you want to take your kids to it.
Overall, I guess I would say I'm in support of the message, and I love the visuals. I just wish it didn't beat me over the head with it. But
yeah, and I wish they had a little bit more finesse in the storytelling choices and structure.
Yeah, so I think it's all we got for this, unless you can think of anything else.
Not really.
Okay, so yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Mad Max, and I'll see if I can get some for Pitch Perfect 2 on Thursday. So, thank you all for watching, guys. See you all next time. I put myself in an awkward position now. I can't reach the camera. Come here, beautiful. You want to go to tomorrow?